joining Carrie Rios and myself, Amber Tripp, on our very first podcast series for Clark College Community and Continuing Education. We really wanted to celebrate our teachers and our instructors and just pick their brains and see what they're all about and what their classes are all about so that we could let the community know what Clark has to offer on the non-credit side. So let me have you introduce yourself, Doug, with your name and your classes that you teach here at Clark CCE.
My name is Doug Smith, and I teach beginning guitar.
Awesome. I hear that you won a Grammy Award?
I was one of several guitar players that contributed to a CD project where we played songs arranged for fingerstyle guitar by the late great composer Henry Mancini. It was called Pink Guitar, an allusion to Pink Panther. And it won the Grammy Award for Best Pop Instrumental CD back in 2005.
Wow. So not the it's a very recent past. Again.
Yeah.
So,
15 years ago.
No, only 15 years ago. I still feel like 2000 was like yesterday.
Right.
But apparently it's not. But still in the recent past. Awesome. So what inspired you to teach beginning guitar?
I've been a professional musician pretty much all my life, in one capacity or another, whether it's performance, recording, composing, or teaching. And I have been teaching privately for years and years. And I don't know, a few years ago, a friend of mine said, hey, Clark College is looking for a class beginning guitar teacher. And I thought, well, I'd never taught a class before. And this would be really interesting. And I thought, I'll give it a go one time and, I'll do it one term and that'll be it. And I did it. And man, I think I had as much fun as the students. I hope they had fun. I think they did. I certainly did. And I've been doing it ever since.
Awesome. So it was a good experience right out of the gate for you then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was great.
So I have a question, totally offbeat question, still about guitar, but is it true that you can have different sizes guitars for different sizes of people?
Yes. We have, in fact, a lot of folks come to class, adults even, will get what they call a 3/4 guitar. What I have here is, a full-size guitar. But they're a 3/4 size guitar that are kind of scaled down to where everything is just a bit smaller. Sure. And, when you're first learning guitar, and this class is designed for ground floor guitar players, right? It's kind of hard to get your fingers working and pressing down and moving around this neck. I mean, it doesn't look that big, but once you try to maneuver, it can be a little challenging. So a lot of folks just like to have something that's a bit smaller they can get their fingers around.
Yeah, that would be me. Even though I can do over an octave on the piano.
Okay. That's
fingers
good.
are short, and so I have a guitar, and I literally have picked it up probably 5 times in the last God only knows how many years because I won it. So it's probably the wrong size for me. Because I feel
it
like
may be,
yeah.
But yeah, we would find that out in the class.
Like, go return it. Well, okay. So were you always, obviously you were not always interested in teaching, but it kind of land in your lap, and you've been teaching beginning guitar for how many years now?
I don't know. I would say about 15 I've been doing this class.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And so you said it's designed for beginner. So if you never ever touched a guitar before, or maybe if you picked it up and kind of strummed it and you're like, I don't know what this hand does over here on this neck.
Yeah, it's very methodical. I start off with, how to hold it, how to hold the pick, hand positions, tuning, even though we have these great things called clip-on tuners nowadays.
Technology is so amazing.
Yeah, tuning by ear is a good thing to know. It shows you the relationships of the strings to each other. So I go through that, tuning by ear. After that, it's cool to use the clip-on tuner. In fact, I use one, as you can see. We use a book by a great author named Susan Mazer, and it's called Guitar for the Absolute Beginner. And it gets you, we start by doing individual notes, getting a clear tone, and then finally adding a few other fingers and making a chord. And I try to make changing chords as simple as possible. And, we even start playing songs in the first couple of days, weeks rather.
Sure. That's awesome. I love to get a good song in, so for me, because I tried the guitar and then I keep putting it back because my fingers don't like the frets, or the strings. And so how do you get around that with the beginners? Like just keep going and build it up, or?
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's said that you have to suffer for your art. I hate to say this, but it does hurt just a bit getting your fingers involved. I always tell people they should take their guitar to a guitar shop first, any one of several music shops in the Vancouver area, and make sure their strings are as close to the fretboard as possible. That makes them easier to press down.
Wow.
There's different types of guitars. There are steel string guitars like I have here. There are nylon string guitars, which are classical guitars. Nylon strings are easier to press down, but the neck is slightly wider. So there's a give and take on each side. But if you can get the strings close to the fretboard, that'll help alleviate the pain. And eventually you'll build up calluses too. Yeah. Now this is a Zoom class, so I will, at least this term, suggest that you take it to a shop. Otherwise, when it's not a Zoom class, if I'm teaching it in person, I can go around and look at the guitars and say, this guitar's fine, or I think you should lower the action on this one.
Wow, I had no idea you could actually do that. Mm-hmm. I might take my guitar into a guitar shop now.
Yes, yeah. You should. This class is designed for you.
I know. I feel like I have to take every single class if we've talked about this last couple days. There's so many good nuggets out there. I've learned so much. Like, I literally have learned at least one little tidbit from every single instructor who's come on. So yeah, I probably should take the class. Carrie, I need a bigger budget in my budget for class taking. So
talk about that later. So
okay. Cool. So tell me, like one little thing that if somebody's on the fence about taking the class, that would get them right off that fence and into the enrollment.
Well, let's see. One thing, with the Zoom class, a lot of folks are afraid of how, they're going to be in a group of people. People are going to be hearing them play. It's going to be a little bit of like a performance thing. It's not. You're going to be in the safety of your own house with the Zoom class. What I do a lot of is, even though there's a delay, over Zoom, I will play exercises out of the book, and people can play along with me at home. There's a wealth of material online for learning guitar, right? So why take the class? That's one of the first questions I have to answer, is because, we're live, we're interactive, I'm right there. If you have any questions at all, ask me. You could say, could you play that again, but a bit slower? I can do that, So yeah, it's very player friendly, and we jump in and play right off the bat.
That's awesome. I love that. So, are the just a logistics thing, I guess? Are the students in the class, are they off mute or are they on mute?
They are on mute. They are muted. Uh-huh. Okay. Anytime someone wants to, they can shoot me a message or just raise their hand or, use one of the little chat functions, and they can say, can I play this for you, see if I'm doing it right? Then we unmute. And the second or third class, I will say, I'm going to set aside a few minutes for you to play for me if you want to. Knowing that other students will hear you, but that's okay because we're all in the same boat anyways. Sure. So I'll set aside a few minutes to do that. And, so they can say, am I doing this right?
Perfect. That's awesome. That would get me in the class. probably. I mean, there's a budget issue, but
Right.
whatever. Because I'm taking every single class there is to offer.
Of course.
So awesome. I would love to hear you play a little bit if you don't mind.
Well, speaking of the that Henry Mancini album, the kind of thing we did on there was, for instance, the Henry Mancini song "Moon River" was played by a great guitarist on the CD, Pat Donahue, and it went.
Beautiful, beautiful. I was trying not to sing. Keeping my mouth shut. That was lovely. Awesome. Well, I don't have anything else, and unless you have any little nuggets you want to share with us about yourself, or about the class, or about guitars, or the worldwide.
No, I think I've pretty much covered everything I want to. It's just designed for people to be relaxed and have fun with.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you being on today, Doug. And if you want to sign up for the beginning guitar with Doug, it would be amazing. I'm sure. I'm going to take every class, I swear. But if you want to sign up for it, you can just go online to the cce.clark.net. Not .net, cce.clark.edu, please. Good morning. Make sure you click on classes, go to music, and you'll find beginning guitar there. If you don't want to go online, you can call in. You can call 360-992-2939, and some wonderful individual will pick up the phone and help you register. You'll find the most up-to-date information on all the classes, the who's, the what's, the why's, the where's, the costs, everything on our website. So check it out. And Doug, thank you so much again for being with us today. Really appreciate your input and your insight, and your you're so wonderful. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, until next time.